It's been nearly a week since school has been in full swing. And again, parents are being reminded about vehicle use around schools and buses. In this edition of our RCMP Monthly, Nara Manisa chats with Constable Grattan Kersinger to get a refresher on school zone safety.
All right, I'm here with Constable Grant Kersinger with the Lloydminster RCMP. We are outside Jack Kemp School. Such an important topic. It's talking about school zones. We did see the sign, 30 kilometers per hour. If you can please talk to us about when exactly those times or the speed limit is actually enforced and what times.
Absolutely. School zones are very important to the RCMP, and we want to ensure that the public understands that they are in effect on school days, so Monday to Friday, providing there's not a holiday, and they start at 8 o'clock in the morning and they go until 9:30, and then again from 11:30 until 1:30 and 3 o'clock until 4:30.
Is there any maybe means of talking about actually getting school zones to be enforced for the entire day? Because sometimes people have a hard time remembering which chunk of day it is that would be enforced.
And that's an understandable problem. Living in Lloydminster, we have to deal with the Saskatchewan side, the Alberta side, and both of those provinces have different rules when it comes to the hours that school zones are in effect. I do know that other places have changed that so that they are an all-day thing. However, right now we're following the specific times from 8 to 9:30, like I mentioned. If there was something to be changed about that, it would be something that would have to be looked at, whether it be a bylaw or looking to adopt a different, the other provinces' standpoint on those.
So we're going to move our attention to buses, as we mentioned. So school bus, sometimes, we have to share the road with the buses. They will stop in the middle of the road to let students out. When you see the stop sign out, you see the flashing lights. There are some hefty fines if drivers do not obey by the rules and actually stop.
Yes, school bus safety is a very large concern, and that's why the provinces have put in such a large fine in association with that. The fine for that can be close to $500, as well as there'll be demerits on your driver's license for that. The reason why it's such an important thing is children are crossing in front or behind the school bus. It's hard to see, so if you go around them, you won't see a little child until it's too late. And that is something that we want to avoid, is having an accident like that.
And of course, traffic around schools are going to be so busy, right? Parents coming to pick up, drop off children. Any advice for these parents when they're kind of maneuvering around these schools, even for children who are kind of darting in and out of traffic?
The biggest thing to keep in mind is just go slow, take your time. There's no rush. You might need to get to work on time. Maybe your kid kind of slowed you down a little bit trying to get out of the house. But the important thing is you just take your time. The slower you go, the faster reaction time that you have, the more time it gives you to slow down, so you don't have one of those accidents where you miss a child. Kids come out from everywhere. Unfortunately, kids aren't always paying attention to traffic. We try and teach them to look across the street both ways before they go. However, that doesn't always happen. Kids get excited and distracted. So as adults, we really need to take that upon ourselves to ensure their safety, taking our time. Always expect a child to pop out from somewhere that you might not think they will.
Time once again for Retrospect, this week from the archives, our weekly review of news stories from the past. In this edition, Brian Hardy brings us a report on how the early internet held promise for agriculture. But first, we look back at what was billed the first annual Alberta Aryan Nation Fest.
It's September 1990, and white supremacists pay a visit to the area.
Canadian Aryan Nations leader Terry Long, gun-toting white supremacist, and protesters alike descended on a farm northwest of Provost Saturday.
It's one of those things, it's a seed of hatred, and allowed to flourish, it's going to promote more hatred.
The white supremacists, clad in swastika armbands with weapons in hand, gathered under a Nazi flag for what has been called the first annual Alberta Aryan Fest, with a barbecue and cross lighting.
The protest then moved to the town of Provost, where a group made up predominantly of high school students took to Main Street with placards in hand.
We don't want people to think that everybody's for it because it's being held here.
And although the Aryan Nations group isn't welcome in town, the people say they won't resort to violence to remove them. Michael Higgins, Broadcast Center News, Provost.
This week in 1995, the internet was helping farmers.
This is the homepage of the Barley Project.
A computer kiosk was located at 14 different district offices across the province, including Bakerville, where about a half-dozen farmers participated.
I guess one of the advantages, one of the fellows that I have in the project, what he likes about it is he can come in at any time of the day. It doesn't matter if he gets off the combine at midnight, he can still access this 24 hours a day.
According to provincial farm statistics, barley is the biggest crop acreage in Alberta, therefore the name. Project Barley ran on a trial basis from June until the end of August, providing farmers with information on crop management, farm equipment, costs of production, and a variety of other topics.
There'll likely be more information added, say on other commodities, for example, livestock, canola, just to add more information to it, make it a more valuable tool.
Join us next time when we meet a local vanguard on Retrospect, this week from the archives.